What's going on, guys? So, I'm back with another video. So, with another episode of my podcast. So, what we're gonna be talking about today is the recent coaching hires and how they affect fantasy. I'm sorry this video is coming out so late. This week was pretty crazy for stuff. Didn't really have much time to do anything. Sorry about that. But we'll get right into this. So, with the first hiring was the Jets hiring Adam Gase. Now, I think this was a really underrated head coach hiring. I think the Dolphins were an average team with an average quarterback, right? Adam Gase gave them some average seasons. I think that if the Jets, with an above-average quarterback, and hopefully for the Jets, an above-average team, they can have above-average seasons, about 9 wins a year. I think Adam Gase made the playoffs once, right? So maybe with a better quarterback, a better all-around team, he can do better. Now, how that affects fantasy is he really hyped up Chris Herndon, so he's a buy for me. Sorry if you can hear my chair. I'm sorry. He's a buy. Chris Herndon is a buy for me. I was able to sell him in my league for a first, a third, and Gerald Everett. That wasn't easy except for me. But I say he's worth about a third right now. That's what I sold him for. I didn't buy him for that. He's worth a third right around now. Third, second round pick. You're going to want to be buying about around there. Maybe a player. Maybe a young player. Depending on who owns them. I mean, it depends, you know. Like, this hurts. Sorry, I have the hiccups right now. This hurts any running backs for them. Very sorry. So this hurts any running backs, as you can see with the Kenyon Drake, Frank Gore type deal. I can imagine them going out signing a older running back. So or even like this hurts any running back for them, really. So yeah, so that's the Adam Gase hirings. I'm gonna go to the Cards the last because I have the most to talk about there. So, the Finns hired Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Patriots. Well, X now. So, Brian Flores, I mean, their defense was good. The Patriots' defense was amazing. But we all know how good, like, the only one was Bill O'Brien, who worked out. And he didn't work out very well. Is he still the coach? I don't know who the Texans coach is. But he's the only one who worked out for the Patriots coaching tree. Belichick coaching tree is very small. I mean, it's big, but it's not good. So Brian Flores, I don't like him to the Finns. I don't like the Dolphins, period, as a fantasy team. I only own Jakeem Grant, and he's a cut to me, possibly over one of the rookies I draft. So really, the Finns still a team to stay away from. Really, this only helps with them cutting Denny Amendola, which isn't a hot coaching hire, but them cutting Denny Amendola really helps all their receivers, Albert Wilson especially. So if they get rid of Devontae Parker, that helps Jakeem Grant, helps Albert Wilson with more targets, helps what's the other guy, Kenny Stills. So like, they seem to be trying to tank with them trying to get rid of Ryan Tannehill, who is an average quarterback, right? So getting rid of an average quarterback doesn't seem smart to me, but them trying to tank for Tua or Fromm or Herbert, you know, it makes sense. So really, they're a team. Stay away from them. Okay, now Broncos. I'm skipping a few because I have the most to talk about them. So the Broncos hiring Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is a defensive coach. I don't know who they hired as offensive coordinator. But like, they already have the receiving core set. Now with their trading away Case Keenum, trading for Joe Flacco, this helps their tight ends and check down machines. So Deshaun Hamilton, Jake Butt, forget the other tight ends, but those are all buys. Possibly they draft someone, you know. The Broncos, like, the running backs possibly. With this, they have Deshaun Hamilton, Tim Patrick, and Courtland Sutton. With what Fangio said about Courtland Sutton, it seems like he is a buy. He seems to like him a lot. So Vic Fangio is definitely Courtland Sutton. So sorry, I'm really bad at this. So Courtland Sutton's a buy. Deshaun Hamilton's a buy. Tim Patrick are all buys. Tim Patrick is the least likely to have much of an effect. So now the Packers with Matt LaFleur. This hurts Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams both, because as he said that he wants he feels like a running back by committee, like what he did back in Tennessee, work the best. So Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams in a running back by committee really hurts both of them, because now you can't really start either of them unless they have a big game. So it's sort of a risk, high risk, high reward. So like, you know, it's like I would value Aaron Jones around Corey Clement, like prime Corey Clement, I should say, when he was starting, doing well, all that stuff. Not anymore. He's not normal. But when he was playing well, I value Aaron Jones around there, which is about a second-round pick, considering he's said to be a part of a running back by committee, and those are things I try to stay away from, which is hard nowadays. But I mean, obviously, running back by committee is a little bit more of a thing than, say, like what the Bears did, right, with Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard. Right, that was kind of a running back by committee, but instead of 3 running backs, you had 2, and Tariq Cohen was still the starter and the star of that running back role, and Jordan Howard played very poorly. So I imagine maybe it could be like that, where Jamal Williams is the Jordan Howard and Aaron Jones is the Tariq Cohen, but we don't know how this scheme is going to fit, considering Derrick Henry played very well in that scheme. So it could be Jamal Williams, you know, for all we know. So I really think it's just a wait and see. You know, don't buy either of them. So wide receivers, well, we can't really say much because Marcus Mariota is not very good for his receivers. I would say that the only receivers to target is Davante Adams, and he's going to be costing you too much money for what I think he is. He had a high touchdown rate. That's something I want to stay away from. I hate high touchdown rates. Like, I go after players who get yards and targets and all that stuff, not high touchdown rates. Touchdowns are the most volatile. That's why I'm staying away from Eric Ebron. That's why I don't want him on any of my teams. So that's how I feel about Davante Adams. Now, the wide receiver 2 was not set at all. They don't have one. They could be X St. Brown. It could be MVS. It could be Jamon Moore. Jamon Moore. It's Jamon something. So it could be one of the 3. Or it could be someone they draft. It could be someone, they could go out and sign Tyrell Williams. They could go out and sign, I don't know, they could go out and sign Golden Tate, you know. They could go out and sign any of these guys. We don't know. So I say it's just a wait. The Packers is a wait and see area. Like, don't target anyone there. See how that scheme's going to be playing out. But here's the thing. Aaron Jones may be a good buy low. Because if someone's really worried about him being in a running back by committee, right? Like, people are worried about that. Possibly could be asking for just a first round pick. I'd say that's a good deal. I don't value, like, this year. Don't no 2020 picks. Keep those. If he's asking for 2019 first, late first, definitely buy him for that. Maybe don't buy him for any, like 2 firsts or a 2020 first, because I value that as 2 2019 first. You know, 2020 is a better class. So, you know, Aaron Jones, he's a wait and see or a buy for cheap. Or a buy. He's a wait and see, buy low. Receiving core is wait and see. Don't buy any of them. So, the Bengals, we got Zach Taylor. So, the hiring of the Rams quarterback coach. This helps their quarterbacks. You saw how Jared Goff played when he was schemed against. He needs, the way the team was run, he needs the coach to tell him what the reads are before they play. And he played very well. So, I mean, of course, that was Sean McVay, but Zach Taylor, this is a risk. But Zach Taylor did say stuff about Joe Mixon being the guy. So Joe Mixon is going to be a workhorse back. He's been top 5 or top 10. He's been a running back 1 almost every year for his first year, I think. well, I guess he was running back 1 last year, I guess, if that's how that works. But I can imagine him being a running back 1 for the next 5 years, for the foreseeable future. So, Joe Mixon's a buy. I'm sorry I talk so fast. I want to get this done. So, Zach Taylor, that means that I think John Ross is a buy. John Ross is definitely a buy. They said they wanted to get him more used. He had 7 touchdowns last year, all in the red zone. He had some. If they can throw him deep, if they get a new quarterback other than Andy Dalton, who can throw it deep, then he's definitely a buy. So then we got the Browns with Freddie Kitchens. Well, I mean, we can just assume going to roll over from what they had last year. So Jarvis Landry, Rashad Perriman, possibly if he gets. Good does well. Baker Mayfield that did really well. With their signing of Kareem Hunt, though, I don't think you have to worry about him taking any carries from Nick Chubb. Especially if you trade away Duke Johnson, then Nick Chubb's going to be the workhorse back for at least 6 weeks, and then Kareem Hunt could be, I don't imagine it's going to be a timeshare or anything. I imagine they're just going to move him in a little bit here and there, see what they got, if he works well with them. But I wouldn't worry about the Kareem Hunt. So just imagine like a rollover of what happened from when Freddie Kitchens and Greg Williams took over. Just imagine a rollover of that. So whatever they did then, we're gonna imagine that's what they're gonna do now. I don't want to restart. Okay. I was imagining just restarting slower. I'm gonna try starting now. Okay. So with the Bucs signing Bruce Arians, this really helps every single one of their wide receivers, and Jameis Winston. So, sorry, that car that goes by every day, and he has a dog that barks. It's so annoying. Okay. So with Bruce Arians, this helps all of their wide receivers. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, that's it. Justin Watson, possibly. Now, I wouldn't be buying Justin Watson for anything more than a third. He's a risk. I can imagine them going out and signing someone or even keeping DeSean Jackson. Now, Chris Godwin, he's a buy. He was a wide receiver 2 this year. He's been steadily getting better. He was a wide receiver 2. He was the 4th target on that offense. With Adam Humphries leaving, he's guaranteed to leave at this point, right? And DeSean Jackson, virtually, he's probably going to leave. He doesn't like Jameis Winston, and they're rolling with him. He costs $10 million against the cap. If they trade him, they save so much money. Like Chris Godwin, he's a buy. He could go all the way up to 2nd target on the team, beside Mike Evans, and he won't have to take the double coverage. It's gonna be sort of I imagine a Juju Smith-Schuster-esque situation where he doesn't have to take the double coverage. Plus, he's only 23. He went in the league at 20. I could imagine a 1,400-yard, 7-touchdown season for him. So I can imagine him going up all the way up to wide receiver 1, possibly. I'd say mid-range wide receiver 2 is his floor, with top tier, like top 10 wide receiver 1. Like wide receiver 1 is his ceiling. Now Mike Evans, I mean, he's consistently one of the best. He is the highest. He has the record for most receiving yards for the Buccaneer. He is one of the best wide receivers in the league. Deep threat wise, big man size wise. He is definitely he's just a hold right now if you own him, and then I wouldn't go out buying him, obviously. But Bruce Arians is going to help that offense, and with Todd Bowles on the defense, I can imagine them making the playoffs next year. If they can get a better defense. So then we got the Cliff Kingsbury. Now this is the Cardinals, so I have the most knowledge about them. So with Cliff Kingsbury, you're getting an air raid offense. You're getting 50-plus passes a game. You're getting short yards after the catch. This is what I imagine air raid offense is. This is what I understand as an air raid offense. I can imagine he's gonna short. We're gonna want short passes, fast passes, and yards after the catch, guys. So with the trade of Marcus Gilbert, I really like that. That's a right tackle set for as long as he's healthy. and then we can have Corey Cunningham go in if he gets hurt. So I like that. He's cheap, saved about $10 million ish, so we can get a good left guard and hopefully get Matt Paradis. Right, I'm hoping that. But I say David Johnson, he's a buy. We hired James Saxton, Sean Kugler. We just signed right tackle. We hired Cliff Kingsbury, who is hopefully going to be able to use him as Bruce Arians used him. So definitely David Johnson, you go after him. 2 firsts. If you can get him for 2 firsts and a player, that's like, get him. He was a running back 1 this year. He's being valued very low for what he is, and definitely a target for me. Now, Christian Kirk, he is also a target for me. I've tried trading for him. I was asking 2 firsts now, but in an air raid offense, he could be getting 7+ targets a game. He's good after the catch. He gets good separation. He is young. He's only going to be 22 coming next season. He had good connections. He is coming up an injury, so there's possibly he's going to be cheaper than someone not coming off an injury who did the same stuff as him, like a DJ Moore. So go after Christian Kirk. Larry Fitzgerald, he's just a hold. Wide receiver 2 flex play. If you own him, whatever, don't buy him, don't sell him. Just see what he can do. Bench, like, depth piece for fantasy. Look out for them drafting a wide receiver. Any wide receiver they draft will be great for them. Any wide receiver is amazing for them. And then also for Casey Jones, he's a buy. I tried getting him for a 3rd round pick, that was declined, whatever. But he is a buy. If they can use him as a deep threat, like what Bruce Arians was doing. If Cliff Kingsbury follows the mold of Bruce Arians, where he does a lot of deep passes, has Casey Jones run seam routes. He should work. Should be about tight end 3, tight end 2. Bench player, starter, good enough. Tight ends, Barron. He could be scoring 80 points this season. It's whatever. He could be a 100-point scorer. He could be a tight end 1. It's weak. So those are the coaching. So look out for who they hire, who they sign in the free agency or as weapons. Who they sign in free agency or who they draft, because I think those players are going to have a huge, like wide receivers. They're going to be so valuable, but they're not being valued because the Cardinals are bad. The Cardinals are a situation I want to stay away from. Everyone's acting like that, and I'm trying to do that. Like, obviously, people are acting like that in a vacuum. People aren't acting like that in my leagues, which stinks. Like, I'm trying to get Josh Rosen in one league. He wanted too much. I'm not gonna throw him under the bus, but he wanted too much. Nah. Josh Rosen. Ooh, I forgot to talk about Josh Rosen. He's gonna be throwing the ball 50+ times a game. He is very good. Now, there's a risk that he's gonna get replaced, but that is false. Don't listen to those rumors. If one of your league mates is listening, if the owner of him listening to those rumors and wants to get rid of him, get him for cheap. Get him for at most a 2nd round pick and 1 QB, and then obviously 1st round pick and a player in super flex or 2 quarterback leagues. He is a buy. You want this guy on your team. Win 50+ passes a game. You saw how, if you go watch every pass of his first game, when you adjust for the throwaways and drop passes, he has a 75% completion percentage. That's better than almost MVP, or close to almost MVP Drew Brees. Imagine his stats at close to that. That is what he's going to be. Hopefully. Now, I'm obviously being hopeful. If we can work on those drops, hopefully we can get up to about a 70% completion percentage. Then imagine the stats. He's gonna have like 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's my prediction. All right. So with those stats, we're gonna be spreading that out. Christian Kirk with 5 touchdowns. I believe he'll have 5 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. That's my prediction for Christian Kirk. Dave Johnson, he's gonna hopefully have about 1,500, 1,000 rushing yards, 500 receiving yards, about 10 touchdowns, 15 touchdowns combined. That'll be a good scenario for him. So about Larry Fitzgerald going up to wide receiver 1, to a wide receiver 1. That would be great. I don't own him, but, like in this scenario, obviously we're talking about air raid offenses. Air raid offenses are something I want for receivers, right? So I'm going to be targeting. If we draft Andy Isabella, boom, on my target list. If we draft, let's say, N'Keal Harry, right? But he's falling down, boom, target list, boom. I'm hopefully going to be able to get him at 109. Obviously, I need a running back, but if I can get a receiver on the Cardinals and an air raid offense, that's something I want. So look out for who we're going to draft, who we sign, and offensive line upgrades. If we upgrade offensive line, boom, 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 that team is set. So, all in all, I'd say buy players from Bruce Arians, Zach Taylor, and Freddie Kitchens offenses. Bengals, Bucks, Browns, Cards, and specific players on the Jets. So those are buys. Sell pretty much everything else. Obviously, I would keep like Deshaun Hamilton, Courtland Sutton. Tim Patrick is a sell if you can get like a first-round pick for him. Obviously, you might not. So, buy, sell, But, this was not what I expected this video to be. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. And, so I'll work on making this a little bit better. If you have any suggestions for podcast ideas or how to make this a little bit better, like maybe I could talk slower, tips on how to talk, just really, if you want, just in the comment section down below, you can let me know what I should be doing better, what you want to see me do. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. This has been episode 3 or 4 of my Dynasty podcasts. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you, bye.